I'm Ren.
And I'm Dad.
And we went to
Disney's Hilton Head Resort on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And we're going to share with you one of our favorite activities, if not our favorite activity that we did while we were there. And that was going for nature walks with the Disney Naturalist, a lady named Cassie, who we wanted to give a special shout out to, and Taylor, and say thank you very much. We really enjoyed the nature walks.
Yep, so make sure to enjoy, and once again, thank you, Cassie and Taylor.
On our way for a beach walk and a beach tour. We're with our tour guide, naturalist, Cassie. Yay! So one of the great things about this resort is they have an on-site naturalist that'll take you around and teach you about the nature here on Hilton Head. So they have two that I know of, and maybe there's other ones, but there's two main ones. One is the beach walk, which we're going on right now, out of the beach house, and the other one is actually the resort walk, which we're going to do tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to take a look at that as well.
Okay, so I know you all haven't been here before, but we've had two really big hurricanes come to Hilton Head. We had Matthew in 2016, who was super windy. Hurricane Irma in 2017, who was super watery. Actually put the Disney Resort underneath the water.
Wow.
So very, very strong tides, high storm surges. So because of that, these dunes actually got knocked down. So these dunes used to be a lot taller than me, and they dwindled down from those two storms. So Hilton Head wanted to rebuild the dunes as naturally as possible. Just because we have different sand in other places, we didn't want to bring in sand from somewhere else. So we added these fences up along our dunes in hopes that the wind would carry the sand up against them and create new dunes. So you can kind of see in some places where it's getting buried underneath the sand, so it's doing really well. Okay, so if you look to your left, on the ground, and if you look to your right, on the ground, you will see a line of sticks. So these sticks are dead spartina grass. The spartina grass is the grass behind the Disney Resort in the marsh. So when it dies, it uproots. This is what it looks like. So this is last year's dead spartina grass, and it'll actually show you how high the tides are going to come. We have the second highest tidal range on the east coast of 8 feet. Oh, we're talking 8 feet horizontal. Wait, that's vertical. 8 feet vertical. Way more than 8 feet horizontal, because you can tell from here that there is a lot more than 8 feet, and at low tides it's even further. But this will kind of give you an idea of high tide. It'll come all the way up here. So if you bring the whole world to the beach like my family, and if you put it above this line, you won't have to move your stuff up and down the beach all day.
That's good to know.
So it's a beach hack as well.
Nice. That's a good marker bed for people. So everybody catch that? Yeah. Stay on this side of this line if you come to the Carolinas to the beach.
Yeah, if you're going to be here all day, especially keep it up there, because the tide's going to be high as well.
Excellent. Looking for a shell with a hole in it. And I think, Ray, do you want to grab this one? Look, here's a shell with a hole in it. It's a little one.
Yes! Okay, this is my favorite beach fact. Do you all know what makes the hole in the seashells?
Is it crabs, maybe?
It's not a crab. It has no legs and no arms.
Is it like some sort of worm?
Similar to a worm. It carries something on its back.
Oh, a snail?
A snail! So seashells have two sides to them, so it's missing its other side. It's kind of like an oyster or clam or mussel, and there's an animal in there. And we have a snail called the moon snail, and they climb on top of the seashell, and they have these teeth that are kind of circular, and they take their razor sharp teeth that has acid on it, and they drill a hole in the shell, and they slurp up the animal and they eat it, and then there's nothing living in the shell, so it breaks in half and washes up on the beach. Perfect for a necklace or some earrings.
I think this is a new concept for the next horror movie, for whoever's trying to think of a horror movie. That would be the scariest thing in the world, having a creature.
Giant versions of those.
Giant versions of those going to go with acid? Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Bubble's so iridescent here. Is there something that's inside that makes them extra iridescent, or?
So have you seen this? Do you know what causes the bubbles?
I figured wave action, but I have no idea.
Yeah, so basically, like if you take a straw and put it in your milk and you blow bubbles into your milk, that's what the waves are doing. So it's creating that bubbles from there. I think really today, because they're not always iridescent, I think it's the way that the sun is right now, the cloudiness.
Okay.
Because usually they're just white and they're actually usually not as pretty looking.
Okay, yeah, so really cool today.
Yeah.
I thought they were really pretty.
Yeah.
Here's some of those iridescent bubbles. You see they have a rainbow hue to them, but apparently it's how the lighting is today. So I think we got really lucky. So it's really cool. It's like a rainbow beach here.
These are something different. So closer. So these are clear. This one's camouflage. So this is a worm tube. So we have polychaete worms, and that's their tubes. Now sometimes they roll around in the sand and get shells stuck to them. So that's basically everything else that you're seeing. So they can camouflage in. So the loggerhead sea turtle is a state reptile of South Carolina, and that's what nests on our beaches here in Hilton Head. Their nesting season here is May through October, so we're coming up on it soon. But the moms come in at nighttime, they dig a nest pretty deep. When I've helped relocate nests, my whole entire arm and my shoulder is in the nest, so a couple feet. And they drop about 150 eggs the size of ping pong balls. Now what's also really cool is each mom can lay anywhere from 3 to 6 nests in a season.
Whoa,
so you can walk
that's
on
a lot.
Hilton Head, run to 6 turtle nests, possible, they all belong to the same mom.
Wow.
So that's like 900 babies. So lots and lots of little ones. They incubate anywhere from 50 to 70 days, and temperature of the sand determines if they're male or female. This is called sargassum seaweed. It's a type of seaweed. It actually floats out in the ocean. And baby turtles, when they make their way to the water, they like to find a floating patch of it so they can go and hide in there. So they can actually camouflage in, and they'll actually eat it as well.
Oh, that's cool. So heading over by this beautiful live oak into the marshlands.
Ready for your pop quiz?
Are you ready, Ray?
I don't know.
Okay,
There
here
we
we
go.
go.
I said the answer yesterday. Does anyone know what the grass in the marsh is called?
Oh, she did tell us that yesterday. I don't
Grass
remember.
that was washed up.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
that showed the high
like
tide.
twigs.
Yes, I don't. I failed. Do you remember? I don't remember. Okay.
I feel like I remember.
We
but
can't
I feel like
remember.
I don't remember.
What if I said start with an S? The Spartina grass?
Spartina grass.
Yeah. It will actually catch all of the pesticides that run off into the marsh.
Oh,
so when
nice.
it rains and then pesticides and fertilizers get carried through, the Spartina grass can actually capture that, so it doesn't go out into the ocean, so it doesn't create a dead zone. Yeah, there's not much sticking out, but we do have oysters right underneath the water and all the rocks. So these are all called eastern oysters. We do eat our oysters here. They are very well protected, but the number one thing that we love that they do is they filter about 25 gallons of water a day. So they do a lot of filtering. A lot of people say our water looks icky, but if you go in the middle of the marsh, take a water bottle, fill it up with water, our water is crystal clear.
So we saw otter scat, we think.
Yeah.
So there's otters out in the marshes out here, and do you guys ever see them around in this area?
We have otters. We see them swimming. We also have mink as well.
Okay.
Especially at low tide, the mink love to play in the rocks. I've seen them go right underneath the pier, and in that front kind of lagoon area at the front of the Live Oak Lodge over there. Tons of minks. Otters don't see quite as much as the minks, but we do have otters as well.
So Ray did have a question.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about this rock and the stuff that's on that? Is that natural?
So that is natural. So those are oysters. So there used to be a little cluster of oysters on there. They've died, and so they've been basically bleached by the sun. We will talk a little bit about the dolphins. So we have about 200 local dolphins that live here in Hilton Head all year round. So it's possible to see it any time of the year. They do live to hang out in the marina. You can see them on the other side of the marsh, on the other side of the Disney Resort, and then also the beach. So always a chance to see them. They do something really cool in Hilton Head called strand feeding. Have you all heard about the strand feeding?
We did
that's
hear
when
about the
they,
strand feeding.
Push fish up to the beach.
Yep, so they push the fish up on the beach, and then they basically pull themselves out, grab the fish, and they have to wiggle themselves back in. So really cool. I haven't seen it too often. I've only seen it once. And we'll hang a left here. But it's really scary looking because it looks like the dolphins are stuck. So if you look down the path a little bit, we have two very large live oaks. The one furthest to the right is considered our 300-year-old tree.
300 years
They are
old.
called live oaks because they're have green leaves on them all year long. So they're always alive. We don't get really pretty foliage with them. The leaves do die and fall off and turn brown, which is on the ground. So we do get a lot of manatees here in the summertime. We used to not really get a lot of manatees, so we're seeing more and more. And they used to stay until September, and September became Halloween, which became Thanksgiving, which this year they stayed until the second week of December.
Oh.
So they're actually staying here longer because our water's staying warmer longer,
Sure.
and winter is kind of being pushed back or not being so wintry. So we have had a good bit that come, and then they do stay a little bit. So pop quiz number 2. Does anyone know where Spanish moss is from?
So we know how like it got named because it's because wasn't it British that?
Oh, the British called it. Yeah.
Yeah, the British called it Spanish moss to make fun of like the Spaniards' beards to kind of make fun of them. Yeah.
Yep, so it is native to this area, and so the Native Americans called it tree hair, and some of the other people out there, the British, the French, they thought it looked like the conquistadors' beards and wanted to mock them, so they called it Spanish beard. It evolved from Spanish beard to Spanish moss. They double lied to you because it's not very mossy. It's actually an airborne plant, and its closest cousin is the pineapple.
Ah,
So it looks
that's cool.
nothing like a pineapple. Spanish moss in the car.
That's awesome. That's a great piece of trivia.
Now, there's your fun trivia fact for the day.
Is any questions? No, this is amazing.
Wow,
It's
you know,
beautiful
so easy.
property. Oh yeah.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
let me ask this. What kind of palms are these? I know there's a lot of these palms, and are these native?
Yes. Okay, so we have 2 types of palm trees. This one right here is called a sable palmetto. This is the state tree of South Carolina. This is also what's on our state flag.
Oh, okay.
So we have another palm tree called a saw palmetto. They're both native.
It's been really good.
Any last questions or thoughts? No? I don't either. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So I really enjoyed both of the nature walks, and especially the beach one, because we go every year to Galveston, so we go there a lot.
We love the beach.
Yes, we love the beach there, so I really like going to beaches. So I thought it was really cool how they talked about all the different animals and the wildlife, and just getting to learn about South Carolina, since that was my first time going there.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat. I also really liked the beach walk as well, where we learned about the turtles in the area and their nesting habits. We learned a little bit about different kinds of animals that live along the beach. And then at the resort, I really enjoyed learning about the dolphins in the area, as well as learning about the trees on the property and some of the trivia there. It was fun having Miss Cassie ask us trivia questions too, although I gotta say I was pretty bad at remembering them. I think you did a good job on the Spanish moss one, but I forgot about what the name of the plants were.
Yeah.
So, excellent. Do want to again say thank you very much to Cassie and to Taylor. Great cast members, and really made this a magical time for us while we were at the resort. So thank you so much. We really enjoyed the tours.
Yep. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video, and once you subscribe, press the bell for notifications so you know when we upload a new video, and most of all, enjoy!